David was clearly able to identify his stutterings during conversation. I helped him make them even longer and more tense. I did this to help David see that he can change his speech in various ways. When a child shows the ability to modify or change his stutterings, it can be helpful if he learns to exaggerate or play with them. Let's watch as I help Christy identify and then exaggerate her stuttering.
Kids with ADHD or autism want to be independent. Try Goalie, the visual scheduler that guides them through routines so you don't have to. Goalie, reinventing routines.
And so, see if you can catch even the tiniest of the little real ones and sort of make them dance, you know, like do different things with them, make them go up and down in pitch and tight and loose and stuff like that. And I'll kind of like talk to you as you do it. But I remember one of the funny stories that you told me before is about that cat that got lost.
Okay, one day we were coming.
Okay, now that was a real stutter? Great.
Yeah.
Did it get past you?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, good. See, just get the feel, you know, like when they're just about to come, and then make them dance.
Okay, we were on our way down, or trying to come down here.
Okay, was that a little one there?
I don't know.
Okay, so you're so good now at catching them before they happen and just sliding through them, you probably don't know which are actual stutters and which are just sort of your automatic controls. Okay.
All right, and we were...
Good. Keep it going for a real long time. Make it go up in pitch and down in pitch. Make it tight. Good. And get it real loose. Get it real slow. And get your shoulders all loose and relaxed. And make your arms relaxed. And good. And just keep it going. And your eye contact is great because you're looking right at me. That's a real help. So whenever you're ready, just let that go slow.
Looking.
Great.
Not all children will need to play with or explore their stuttering to the degree that Christy does. However, for those children for whom embarrassment and fear are apparent, these procedures may be quite helpful. Stuttering can be modified or changed in several ways. One way, which you'll see here, is partially based on fluency shaping principles.
For families living with ADHD or autism, preventing meltdowns is everything. Goalie reduces stress by enabling kids to complete routines independently. Goalie, reinventing routines.
Using this approach, all of the child's speech is modified, the fluent and disfluent parts. The child is helped to resist time pressures and to begin and continue speaking in a physically easier way. Let's watch as I help Quentin learn to change his typically tense, rushed, and non-smooth speech. And I'm going to show you how I can use an easier, relaxed approach, smooth movements into and between the words. I'll show you. Chemistry of color, properties of air, food and nutrition, soap bubbles, properties of water. Now, let's both of us say that together, all right? And let's try to remember to have an easier, relaxed approach and smoother movements. Are you ready? Okay. Chemistry of color, properties of air, food and nutrition, soap bubbles, properties of water. Okay, would you like to try it in a little harder way? This time, I will say it sometimes, but not all the time.
Okay.
Let's try.
Chemistry of colors, properties of air, food and nutrition, soap bubbles, properties of water.
That was wonderful. Practice continues as we gradually increase the difficulty of the task. Whatever stuttering remains after this phase of therapy can be focused on more specifically, as just illustrated by Dr. Guitar.
As we continue to work on the child's fluency, we also want to use strategies that help children to physically feel what they do to interfere with speech. Second, to release the physical tension and move on to the next sound. And finally, to move their speech helpers instead of tensing and pushing against them. Now let's watch Dr. Peter Ramig help Erica use these strategies.
Erica, I'm going to show you some cards, and I'm going to say the name of the object that's on the card. And I'm going to say it pretty smoothly without pushing, and I'd like you to do the same thing. Okay. If it gets bumpy, that's okay. But let's try to say it smoothly like I'm going to say it.
Kids with ADHD or autism want to be independent. Try Goalie, the visual scheduler that guides them through routines so you don't have to. Goalie, reinventing routines.
Okay.
Bear.
Bear.
Good try. Try it again. Bear.
Bear.
Good. Don't push your lips too much. Just barely touch your lips. Bear.
Bear.
There you go. Try it again. Bear.
Bear.
Good. Again.
Bear.
Good. See how that was real soft? I touched lips? Good. Sled.
Sled.
Good. Say it again.
Sled.
Good. Your tongue wasn't pushing there in that S, was it?
Sled.
Good. Very good. Yeah. Eggs.
Eggs.
Okay. Now that's down here, so don't push hard. Eggs.
Eggs.
There you go. So you stretched it a little bit to make it smooth. Good,
Yeah.
but you didn't push. Try it again.
Eggs.
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 Good. Nice job. Fire truck.
Fire truck.
All right, that one got a little hard. That's okay. Let's try it again. Try not to push up here.
Okay.
Fire truck.
Fire truck.
Good. Try it again.
Fire truck.
All right. That one's a little bumpy, and that's okay. It's a longer word, too. It's a little harder word. For some children who stutter, changing their speech will require them to identify their instances of stuttering. Should these children be able to identify all instances? No, of course not. In the beginning, they may only recognize the longer and more physically tense ones. Recognizing and changing shorter ones may have to wait. Now let's watch as Dr. Contour helps Drew make changes in his speech.
Like on flavor, okay? Let's have you really get into that and really make that tense, okay? Right, keep it there, hold it there, change out of that.
Flavor.
Good, nice, nice. So tell us a little bit what happened there. You physically tensed, and then what'd you do?
And I got stuck, and then I had to move through.
Sometimes we say change. Sometimes words like make it smooth. Other times make it easy, and sometimes move on. However, all these terms mean the same thing. Stutter with less physical tension. Reduce the pushing and move on to the next sound. By doing this, the child will produce shorter, more physically relaxed stuttering. Watch as I demonstrate these things with Chris.
For families living with ADHD or autism, preventing meltdowns is everything. Goalie reduces stress by enabling kids to complete routines independently. Goalie, reinventing routines.
Where hit.
Okay, let's go back to where. And change out of that.
Where hit.
Good job.
He was buried himself.
Okay, let's try that one. Change.
Self.
Good.
We need to let parents, teachers, and children themselves know that the goal of therapy is to give these children strategies so they'll become more comfortable talking and communicate well in their everyday lives. For some, this means becoming normally fluent. For others, it means learning to stutter more easily. In either case, parents and teachers need to know that changing speech is a process, and from time to time, instances or periods of stuttering may occur. We want to point out the importance of working with parents, even though this video has emphasized the treatment of children themselves.
Stuttering in children often impacts the whole family. Although we do not believe parents cause stuttering, we often see parents who feel frustrated and responsible for their child's speech. For this reason, it is desirable for parents to play an active role in treatment. They need to understand what their child is learning, and they need the education, direction, and support to help them be an active part of the overall process.
Working with families requires a fine balance between two seemingly different things. First, we must listen to families' concerns, hopes, and expectations, trying to understand their point of view. But second, we must help families understand where the child is coming from. Family demands or expectations may put pressure on the child. Furthermore, the child's goal may not be total fluency, but the ability to say what he wants to say when he wants to say it.
We can best help parents help their children by sharing information with the parents, by educating the parents, and talking with the parents about simple, everyday things they can do in the home that will help their child talk more fluently. Things such as not talking for their child, not interrupting their child, not overly correcting their child's speech, and in general, providing a speaking model that consists of relatively slow, physically relaxed, non-critical communication.